Get ready, because a huge shift is coming for AI in 2026, and it all comes down to a really simple question. Who's actually in control of our data? Today, we are going to dig into the rise of what's called AI data sovereignty.
So let me just ask you this. When you're using an AI, any AI, do you have any clue where your data is actually going? Is it on a server just down the road, or is it halfway across the world on a different continent? Yeah, for most of us, the answer is just a shrug. But you know what? That ambiguity, it's about to become a thing of the past.
And this whole change is being driven by this one big idea: AI data sovereignty. The easiest way to think about it is like a digital passport for your information. It's the fundamental right for a country or even a company to say, hey, our most important data has to stay within our borders. So for example, a country like Germany could legally require that all its citizens' health records, when they're being used by an AI, can never physically leave German soil.
Now, this idea is sparking a whole new thing called the new hybrid cloud economy. And here's the best way to picture it. Imagine a company has its own super secure private workshop where it handles all its secret sensitive projects. But when it needs some serious muscle for bigger jobs, it can also rent power from a massive shared public factory. It's this exact mix of private and public clouds that's creating a brand new market for sovereign-ready tech.
Okay, so we get what's happening. But why? Why this sudden rush to build these digital fences around all of our data? Well, it turns out there are some really powerful reasons driving this whole thing.
It really boils down to 5 key drivers. First up are privacy and meeting tough new laws, like the EU's AI Act, which flat out require data to stay local. At the same time, companies are getting kind of nervous about being locked into just one giant cloud provider. Then there's physical security. I mean, you want to make sure your country's critical AI can stay up and running even if global networks have a bad day. And finally, honestly, it's about getting a better handle on the crazy, skyrocketing costs.
All right, so how does this all actually work? It sounds incredibly complex, right? But the playbook for how you build this new digital world is, believe it or not, surprisingly slick.
The secret sauce, the magic ingredient, is a piece of tech called a unified management plane. This is literally the brain of the entire operation. Just picture a single dashboard, one screen that lets a company see and manage all its different computer systems, both its private ones and the public clouds it rents, as if it were all one giant, seamless machine.
So this brain makes the journey for every piece of data incredibly smart. First, data gets that digital passport we talked about, a tag that says how sensitive it is, something like must stay in Germany. Then, an automated system works like a super fast border agent, instantly routing that data to where it's supposed to go. The really sensitive stuff goes to a secure local server, while the less critical stuff can be sent off to cheaper global clouds. Simple as that.
But wait a minute. What if sensitive data has to use a public cloud for its raw processing power? Well, that's where something called a sovereign enclave comes in, and this is really cool. On a standard cloud, the provider technically can see your data. But an enclave, it's like a locked armored box that you place inside that cloud. It uses encryption so powerful that absolutely no one, not even the people who own the cloud, can peek inside and see what you're working on.
So, we've got new rules and some pretty cool new tech. But what does this all actually mean for us in the real world? Let's break down the practical effects this has on, well, everyone.
You can actually see a clear chain reaction here, a set of dominoes just waiting to fall. It all really kicks off around 2026, when these stricter laws go into effect. In response, companies are going to start pouring money into local, private AI hardware. That investment then creates a whole new market for regional data centers. And the final, and maybe most important link in the chain? We, the customers, start to trust AI more because we know our data is being protected by laws we actually understand.
And the impact of this is going to be felt far and wide. For businesses, they'll have a tough choice: either build out their own hardware or pay a lot more for these secure sovereign cloud regions. IT teams, they're going to have to learn how to manage these incredibly complex new systems. For us, as users, the big win is that our data is way less likely to be hoovered up to train some giant global AI without us even knowing. And on a global scale, this could completely reshape who holds the power. Think about it. If AI has to run locally, the countries that can make their own chips and supply their own power, they suddenly become self-reliant AI superpowers.
But of course, this whole shift isn't going to be easy.
let's be real, there are some major hurdles. These systems are incredibly complex to run and cost a fortune to set up in the first place. We're already expecting major AI hardware shortages around 2026. But maybe the biggest risk of all is fragmentation. By putting up all these digital walls, we might accidentally make it much harder for AI systems across the globe to work together and learn from each other.
And that really leaves us with the big final question. As we build these new digital borders to protect our information and to build trust, are we actually paving the way for a smarter, more secure AI? Or are we accidentally creating a world of digital islands, leading to a much more fractured one?